When you get to that point where you feel like giving up and you feel like nothing's working, if you will just try a little bit harder and push yourself beyond that point, that a lot of times is where your success lies.
Right. Yeah. If you give up, you may be giving up just short of the finish line. I find one of the things that's helped me with prioritizing and goal setting is to understand that there are different goals and tasks that have varying amounts of value. And what people tend to do is they do the non-valuable tasks and they leave the big ones. And then the big ones turn into emergencies.
Right.
Because
it's easy to do all the little things.
So basically, we have to characterize our goals, and the Stephen Covey has a wonderful little system for doing that, and I teach this to my kids. It's really valuable. So what I'd like you to do is pause the podcast and get a piece of paper. We're going to take the paper and make a big plus sign right in the middle of it, as big as you can, so that you have a grid, so you have 4 quadrants. In the upper left-hand corner, I want you to write important and urgent. In the lower left-hand corner, I want you to write unimportant and urgent. In the upper right-hand corner, I want you to write important but not urgent. And in the lower right-hand corner, write unimportant and not urgent. Okay, so you've got your categories. So for every one of the things that's on your task list to do to accomplish your goals, you're going to put them in one of those categories.
If you have trial next month, then that's important, but it's not urgent because it's happening next month. But then if we don't do it, then what happens is it moves over into the important and urgent column, the upper left, because we haven't done it and it is important. And that is where you start to get anxiety, and that is a place that a lot of us live.
Right. I'll tell you another place that a lot of us live is the lower left-hand corner, the unimportant and urgent. Mm-hmm. And I would put in that category all the little things that everybody else wants you to do for them.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So there are things that that are on all of our lists that have to be done right away, but they're not that important. Here's the action item for this week is going to be to take your tasks, your daily tasks, and put each one of them into one of these categories, because it'll help you figure out what is going to give you leverage.
What your priority should be.
Right. And the category of leverage is the upper right-hand corner, is the important but not urgent.
Yes, it's the land we all want to live in.
Right, that's the productivity.
Where we're focused on doing things that are important and also that are not yet urgent, because we are so well planned out and together that we don't have, not that you're never going to have urgencies arise, but that you don't have them arise on the daily, like I feel we do at this point. And that's the upper left corner is important and urgent. And that's where you're kind of in crisis mode and you're constantly putting out fires.
Right.
You know, which is how I think a lot of us feel right now with everything going on.
You want to get into the habit of scheduling, taking those things that are important but not urgent and lighting a fire under them.
Right.
And that's kind of what the time constraint does. So you say, I'm going to make an appointment each day to write for an hour.
Right.
Now, I could make that appointment for 6 hours, but I'm not going to do it.
Right.
So if I make a commitment to myself...
Because that brief still has to be done.
Yeah, there you go. So come hell or high water, I'm going to write at 3:30 every Thursday. I'm going to sit down and write for an hour. Mm-hmm. Maybe twice a week.
Yeah.
Get it done. I don't know. But whatever you think you can do is probably best. But then you can keep that commitment to yourself, and realize, and compare it to your dream board, and how does this fit into my life purpose?
Yeah, and my why.
And your big giant why, and get some fire around it, because I guarantee you that book will not get written if you don't do that scheduling, if you don't make it a priority. Remember that your goals, accomplishing your goals, is about taking a lot of small steps. It's about developing habits and doing things in kind of a routine, in a repetitive way.
Right.
And those steps are vital. They're important.
Right.
But you could always take 2 tomorrow. I can always do 2 readings tomorrow.
Right.
But
once you get like 50 readings behind, there's no recovering from that. You might as well reset for next year.
Also, an important but not urgent thing might be to get some self-help books. Get some books on how to be inspired, or how to organize your life, or how to have self-discipline is a big one. Really, the walk. You have to take the regular steps in order to get to your goal.
Right.
And the problem is that those regular steps are easy to put off.
Yeah.
It's easy to put off. So you got to make them important, and you got to do it. And I like to prioritize my daily task list, or at least 60% of the days. But the idea being that let's do the tasks in order of importance. What you're all thinking is, but Thomas, you don't know my life. You don't know what I'm up against. You don't know
my ex.
You don't know my ex-husband. My case is different.
Yeah.
And what I want to say to you is, you'll never find out unless you start taking those steps.
Right.
You got to take the steps and have faith that it's going to lead to your goals.
Right.
Do something small.
Right.
Do something small that moves you towards where you want to be, and that will stimulate your endorphins. I love checking stuff off my to-do list.
You have to just get started in that direction, and I think so many times we let the unknown hold us back. And when I went through my divorce and I really, really held on to that relationship, once I let go of it and I sat down and did the writing like Thomas is talking about, and I primarily wrote about my new relationship because that was my priority at that point in my life.
Plan.
Yes, my man plan. I am telling you, I literally met Thomas within a couple of weeks after writing that. So, we've had experiences and know this stuff works. You just get going in that direction, and then all the things that you can't see yet will start to present themselves.
True.
So,
okay.
Anything else?
No, I think that's good.
So
we did
what do
the
they
grid.
need? They need to put their priorities into their grid.
Yep, and give some examples of things that are important but not urgent. Important and urgent. Put things that you encounter in everyday life, and you'll see that will create a way to prioritize.
And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands.